everybody, the Board Teachers Comedy Tour is coming to a city near you, Texas. We've been there many times. You've always packed it out. We're coming to Lubbock. We're coming to Midland. We're coming to Amarillo? I don't know, but we're going to be there. It's January 26th through 28th. We're coming to Texas. Then we're going to Florida. We got Orlando. Then we're going to go over to Clearwater. And then we're doing back to Orlando. I don't understand the routing on this, but I do understand that the laughs will be had. You got to come check us out. Board Teachers Comedy Tour, Texas and Florida. We're coming to you end of January, beginning of February. Get those tickets now.
Hey, everybody. It's me, James John. And on this episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, we're going to discuss how a teacher's dreams can quickly turn into nightmares. Then we're going to talk about when Devin was a teacher, why he didn't want to go to lunch and hang out with other teachers. Then we're going to wrap things up. We're going to go to Reddit and we're going to discuss some of the teachers' horror stories. But we're here for you. We'll hold your hand. Don't go anywhere. A new episode starts right now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold. I've got my good buddy, Mr. James Eon here.
How y'all doing?
We appreciate you liking, commenting, subscribing, and checking out the podcast and hitting that share button. We are in our second year here with the partnership with Board Teachers, and it's going great. But we need, obviously, your support out there to make more people aware. We love having our platform expanded and bringing more teachers into the conversation. I love all the feedback, the content. I read all the comments. I respond to most of them. Not all. If you're a jerk, you're not getting a response. You get one. I just type it and then I go, I can't post that, and then I delete it.
Yeah. You'll text to me, is this okay? No.
No, that's not fine. You did that yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like, he's like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, don't do that.
You're probably right.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But so we appreciate you, like I said. Now, James, I'm about 2.5 years removed from the classroom, okay?
I can't believe it's been that long.
I still have dreams that I'm in the classroom.
That's funny.
I still do.
That's hilarious.
I still dream sometimes that I'm in class.
Yeah.
I've got grading papers. I've got deadlines. So I'm letting you know, teachers, when or if you leave, it will stick with you for a long time. Now, the funniest thing happened the other night.
Wait a minute. The way you made it sound.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it.
Like you went to war. Like, it stays with a man.
See, he's laughing. I'm not laughing. This is no joke.
I understand. I'm so sorry.
And the reason I'm not laughing is, honestly, teachers know it feels like you went to war.
Yeah.
Like, there's some trauma there.
I bet.
I see comments from teachers all the time, man, and I'm like, woo, if I had to do that, I mean, I can't imagine what they went through. But one of the funny things, though, is I was dreaming the other night. I was in class.
Okay.
And I was just just teaching a lesson. Like, it was so boring and mundane. And I woke up. And I woke up in the middle of the night because the Oculus charger was like beeping weird. And we have one of those Oculus the kids play with. It charges in my room. And it was just connected bad. And it started beep, 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 beep. And I was like, oh, what the heck is that? And I woke up and I was like, oh, Oculus. And so I just took it off the charger and set it down. And then I laid down and immediately went back to bed. And there was a dragon attacking my classroom. And I was like, I leave my class for 2 seconds. In my dream.
That's hilarious.
Suddenly a dragon is in my room. And I'm like, I'm throwing desks at it. I'm like, run, children.
Not the fact it's an actual dragon. The fact that I just leave for 5 minutes.
Leave for 5 minutes.
It's so funny.
Suddenly there's a dragon in my room.
It's so funny because tell me you're not a teacher anymore without telling me you're a teacher. You have an Oculus, okay?
Yeah. I love the Oculus.
So do I. It's amazing.
But I did used to have teaching dreams all the time. It was one of those things that you just can't get away from, you know? And you want to shut off your mind. That's the hardest part about teaching is sometimes teaching isn't just being in the classroom. It's mentally occupying your mind at all times, not just dreams, but like the real world. So, James, I'm going to let you in on something that's going to make me sound like a horrible person.
Uh-oh.
I would almost never go to lunch with coworkers.
Really?
On our teacher work days, they'd all be like, hey, we're all going to lunch at noon. We're meeting at Applebee's. And I'd be like, oh, yeah. Okay. And I'd be like, so I'm not going to Applebee's. That's a place I don't want to go. It had nothing to do
I get it.
with the people being there. I loved my coworkers. I thought they were great. But when I go out,
Yeah.
I need to get away from that.
I understand.
I need to, and I've done that where I go, all right, I'll go out to lunch with you, or they come by my room and they're like, hey, we're heading out. You coming? And I'm like on the spot and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I go and I sit there and what do?
Talk about
A whole hour of complaining and this is going wrong. And can you believe this person said this? And it's like, I'm outside of the school.
Yeah.
Don't put me back in there right now.
Gotcha.
Mentally, I want to enjoy this 2 for $20. Mentally, can I just please have these baked potato skins at TGI Fridays? It was slathered in the sour cream.
Yes.
I want me and my food. I don't want me and my food and a story of another kid that's messing up your room and, oh, you're going to have him this year. And did you hear this children and this parent said this? And because it just stresses me.
Yeah, because you guys never, when you were teaching, you never left the job.
No.
Meaning mentally, because you would go home, you're still grading papers, or you go home like, man, I got this I got to do tomorrow, then I got to do that, then I got to hurry up and do this. I'm always thinking, or you're always thinking about the next day as a teacher. You never
Even if
take
you're
a
not
break.
working it mentally, it occupies that place in your head that just sits there. There's testing tomorrow. Okay, I got to do that, and I got to be there early for this, and I don't have enough pencils. And are they providing the pencils? Maybe this year they're providing them. No. What about the calculators? Okay, but if I'm doing that, then how am I going to do this? And somebody else is testing in my room, so I got to make sure my room's clean, and I got to take that stuff off the walls, and I got to. It's always there.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want is more people inviting into the discussion.
Yeah, you want to let it go.
Yeah, I loved my friends, going out with my friends that were non-teachers. I would literally call up my buddies on teacher work days and be like, hey, man, I'm going to the Pizza Hut. And when we'd go to the Pizza Hut, I'd be like, please complain about your job.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, bartending this and that. And I'm like, thank you. I
Yes.
want to mentally get away from this,
Your job,
yeah.
man.
And that was the problem. And I didn't mean to seem like a jerk. I know some teachers maybe even thought, oh, that guy never hangs out with us.
Yeah.
Because they did stop inviting me.
At some point.
But it wasn't,
Yeah.
I had to tell them. I was like, I just don't want to do that conversation.
And I can understand, Devin. I'm not a teacher, but I can understand you not wanting to go with your coworkers to Applebee's because you had to go work there later. Like, you don't want to. I know.
At Longhorn.
I know.
Do you realize I worked at Longhorn and we would go there for lunch and they'd be like, aren't you clocking in an hour? I'd be like, yes.
Yes.
I'll bust this table.
I'll do this myself.
Yeah. Why? Do I get my free lunch?
Yeah.
Because this is it. This is the one.
Yeah, this is the one. I need it.
Are you taking the sweet potato off the bill? But no, I didn't want to be rude, but that was kind of the...
You wanted to turn off from thinking about being a teacher.
Yep. And that's the way I think it should be, is teachers need a place to decompress. I also had Disney World, and people always laugh at me because like I'll tell them, yeah, they're like, how often do you go to Disney? I'd be like, honestly, like every other day.
Yeah.
And I used to go every day.
Yeah.
And they're like, every single day? I'm like, yeah, Disney or Universal, because it would take me away from the stress that I was dealing with at school.
Escape.
It's amazing escape.
Yes, man.
And I will say, and I think I said this before on here, but physically I became ill from the stress. Like I would leave work and I couldn't feel any like nerves in my jaw. My jaw held all my stress.
Yep.
And if you've ever had a stress being held in a particular part of your body, mine was my jaw. And I would leave and I would literally have to sit in the car, complete silence. I wouldn't turn on my car. And I would just sit there and I'd be like, oh, and I would feel literally the muscles just dropping and decompressing and going, oh, and then I'd feel instantly tired.
Yep.
But it was like, man, it took everything out of me, dude.
And that is a number one symptom that you are stressed, overly fatigued.
Overly fatigued.
It's just like you want to shut your brain off. You are so tired.
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah.
And what I would do, and this is, I'm giving you guys way too much information, but I would go to Epcot and I would go to Japan in Epcot and I would sit down and I would eat the chicken cutlet over the noodles. and I would sit
know
in
exactly.
by the waterfall. There was a waterfall. There's a
Yeah.
waterfall. And I would literally sit there and I would just listen to the water and I would eat my noodles and I'd be like, don't think about school. Don't think about school. Everything is fine. And it was like my safe place.
Your happy place.
And everybody was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have to get away from it or it will eat me alive.
Yes, it will.
Luckily, at some point, I found comedy.
Yeah.
And I think that was a cool outlet that after school, I could film a sketch.
Yes.
And make myself laugh. And that was my drop off. That was the, oh, okay, you know.
And here's the cool part about what you just said, Dev. You found your happy place. You got to start making videos, and it became quite successful. But here's the cool part about what you do, brother. I never told you this. You get to make those videos that so many people as teachers can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you really do them a service when you make those videos, because you know what it tells them? Somebody gets it. Somebody understands, finally. So I've seen people react, and I've seen them come up to you after we do shows about the teacher's tour. They're so happy to meet you because they love to see one of them successful.
Oh, yeah,
a teacher. And they
sure.
want to thank you for like what you provided them, because it's a reprieve. Even this podcast, it's a little getting away. It's a little, well, thank you for saying that, because we go unheard. So I want to give you your flowers, man. That's what people appreciate.
That's cool. When I talk about at different schools, I talk about the power of laughter and how it gets us through the day as teachers.
It is medicine.
I truly did put these videos out, and I didn't think anybody watched them. There was like 50, 100 views or whatever. And when I was putting them out, all of a sudden I had the media specialist come up to me at the high school I worked at, and she goes, I watch all your videos. She goes, I was honestly thinking about quitting, and I watch your videos, and they got me through it. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, like that. It was just like all of a sudden like a whole different higher purpose. And everybody asked me too, they're like, you left teaching. Why do you still do teaching videos? It's because I know that they need to laugh. It's like I gotta provide. And the truth is, people think I make like a complete bank off of these videos. I don't. In fact, the state of the teaching videos and things like that, it literally costs me to produce it what I make back on it.
You do. And that's
it's
a true
break
statement.
even. I'm using up my time for free just to make these things happen because I want to bring awareness. And but I also get cool avenues. So I will talk about this real quick. I got the hat on, the St. Jude hat.
Man.
I was sent this hat by St. Jude because I've been helping them a lot with fundraising.
You have.
And I've been donating to St. Jude for over 10 years. So my family would hate me because at Christmas I would literally hand out, you donated $60 to St. Jude and I donated it in your name. And they'd be like, oh,
I did something great.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think you understand the levity of what you got. At first, it's always one of those things because you don't think about donating in somebody's name as a gift. But that's the truth. Is I would donate and I give
Which
them
is a great gift,
and I say your gift is actually giving somebody else a whole different gift.
Yes.
You know, and this money's going to a very good place.
Yes.
And then they'd be like, oh, you know, like, oh, I get it, and they start to realize the power of the charities
and giving.
So, and I used to give, and then I started basically fundraising for them, helping them out, donating my own time, my own money, and so they've worked with me to make me an ambassador. And I try to help them out as much as I can.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got to go see the facilities and see where the money goes and just see the kids that they're helping out. And it's a huge thing, man. I mean, and I will say this, teachers, I'm going to give you one bit of advice, okay? If you are stressed at school, if school is stressing you out, things are getting too much, you feel like you're not making as big of an impact in the classroom, find a charity, volunteer your time, dedicate your outside being to sponsoring a charity that you know is doing good things, and find an additional purpose. Because trust me, man, like when you see your money being put to work, when you see, you know, kids ringing that bell, you know, things like that,
man.
That's huge. And it makes you feel so good. And it's like, man, I helped contribute, you know,
you did.
And I donate my own money, but also I get do the challenges. I did the push-up challenge a while back. I did the one for the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. You know, I try to, and I find that helping charities through the Treasure Coast Food Bank that we raised money for.
We did that.
I did the Homeless Coalition of Orlando. I helped Mr. Tom do a documentary. I produced that, and we raised money for the Homeless Coalition. Finding those purposes, man, that's what keeps you going.
Yeah,
I love charity.
And I know you're a guy that loves to do charity, and I thank you for helping with my charity called James Sean's Mortgage.
Yes.
That's a great one,
yes,
and I thank you so much.
Where's my hat?
Yeah.
Just got a picture of your face in a house.
It's a receipt.
Yeah, but I honestly think so. I used to teach psychology, and one of the things I would tell my psych students is I would tell them, I'm like, you don't realize, but charitable giving, helping somebody else out, activates the same heightened pleasure in your mind as intercourse.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds crazy, but we have things in our mind that elevate certain
Pleasure
pleasures.
centers.
Yes, and it's literally telling you, hey, the two things you need in life is to reproduce, to survive.
Yes.
And to help others.
That's right.
That's what our brain literally tells us on a scientific level. You got two purposes. It's to live and reproduce and to help others, and it makes you feel good.
It does. And a lot of times helping someone doesn't cost you a thing.
No.
Just be kind.
Yep.
Just be nice. Be helpful. And I don't have a lot of money, of course, man, but I do give. But in comedy, I try because I've gotten to a certain place where I can do good for people, help them out. And I've always tried to be that.
Yeah.
I've always tried to help out as many comics as I can because it doesn't cost me anything.
Yep.
Show them how to get into certain clubs and get work. Show them how to write a professional essay. I'm sorry, a resume. When you're trying to get in. Right?
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing. Email's what I was trying to get out. But yeah, helping doesn't cost a lot sometimes.
No, it
Just
doesn't.
do it.
All right, let's jump into the teachers in the news. High school teacher arrested for stealing $3,000 in merchandise at a Walmart. Big jump. We just went from one thing to the next. Oh, this one. So this teacher's in the news. Let's go into it. There's over a 5-month period. This is a long time to not be caught. Apparently, this teacher was switching out ticket prices. So again, look, if we're going to be in the self-checkout, I'm going to self-price it.
Yeah. If I work here now, I get an employee discount.
Employee discount. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
But apparently this history teacher has been working there since 2006 and has 10 misdemeanor thefts, 1 felony charge of using an anti-theft countermeasure device. I don't know what that means. But over 5 months, they said he was stealing $750 worth of merchandise at a store at a time. And apparently just kept switching out the prices, and now he's on administrative leave. You take the tags of expensive items and switch them out with less expensive items and skip scanning other merchandise. Oh. That happens a lot.
I'm sure it happens a lot.
It's got to.
Especially if, like you said, self-checkout.
But two things bother me. I want to know what it was. I mean, because it's $3,000 worth of merchandise from expensive to non-expensive. I mean, are we talking things that are essentials, or is this like PlayStations and stuff like that? I mean, you feel bad for teachers because I know that's a Florida teacher. Florida, 48th lowest paying teacher salaries in the nation. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for stealing.
What you want to know.
But I'd like to know, is this I need this to survive? I got kids. It didn't say anything about him, you know?
I've actually read this same story. It's funny that you brought it up. And the gentleman's name is Robin, last name Hood. And what he was doing, Devin, he was stealing.
Was he giving these TVs to the children in his school?
That's right.
God, charitable giving all around.
That's right. We just talked about it.
We just did.
Yeah.
And we got an upstanding citizen like him. All right. Now, I want to touch on a great story. This is an elementary teacher. She's a mom of 3. Now, she had been diagnosed with lupus. Okay, that is not the good part, obviously.
No.
That is the bad part.
Yes.
The good part is that she didn't let that diagnosis get to her, and she's now graduating from her residency program. So that's huge.
Come on. Clap, clap, clap.
Yep, the university's Mississippi Teacher Residency Program. She's a mom of 3, elementary school teacher battling lupus, went ahead and graduated with a 3.9 GPA.
Come on.
It was inducted into the Alpha Kappa Mu. Alpha Kappa Mu. Is it Mu or Mu? I don't know. I never pronounce anything right on the show. Honor Society. And she said it was rigorous. And obviously, she's got the lupus flares up she's been dealing with and chronic pain.
Which is not easy.
She credits strong faith, family, friends, and coworkers with helping her pursue her dreams. So, I mean, that's absolutely
awesome.
huge. Her name is Amy Stewart. So, Amy Stewart, shout out to you for being a teacher out in Mississippi. Obviously, they don't even pay well there. And still battling through with 3 kids and
That's
and
awesome.
lupus and making it happen.
Good for her.
Yeah, shout out to you. And we love to see stories like that. This one is a bit of a head scratcher.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We got a tough one here. Substitute teacher is arrested for apparently pulling down his pants in class.
Okay, wait a minute. Dev, I've heard a lot of crazy things about teachers in the classroom, but he did what? Say it one more time.
Apparently, he's been arrested for pulling down his pants in class. Now, I struggle with this one because I Googled it, and there's 4 different accounts of it, and they're all different.
4 different ones.
Yeah. I don't agree with what he did. Apparently, there's a picture of him sitting in a chair, and obviously you can see his butt is exposed.
Yeah.
But he's sitting down in a chair. The students complained and said they saw him like this. One article says he exposed himself to the kids. The other one says is that he was inadvertently mooning them when his pants came down. Like when he sat down, like
they kind of
apparently I don't know. I don't know what to say, but man, there are different accounts of this online. So I feel bad. Obviously, keep your pants up if you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I ask a question, though?
Yeah.
I'm a big man.
Oh, yeah.
And I know sometimes big men were challenged sometimes with plumber crack. Is he a bigger gentleman?
Nope. No, it really does look like it might have been intentional. So that's where it's like,
that's weird,
come on, man.
Yeah.
But also, you know, you read, like, it's so weird to me because it's the different newspapers. New York Post is like, terrible teacher exposed himself. Kids were terrified and mortified. And then you go to HuffPo and it's like, the teacher mooned the class and was arrested. And you're like, okay, but there's a big difference between those two. You know,
what's the difference? A felony.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what'll come of it. Obviously, you know, you don't want to be ever caught in that sort of situation. If the person did it intentionally around the children, get them out.
You got to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Get them out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about. We're going to end the last few minutes here on this show talking about the one thing that apparently everybody enjoys, because I have done these, and every time I do these, I get comments going, "I love when you do those." Okay. So I'm bringing it back. We're going over to Reddit.
Oh,
we are stepping in the cesspool of the internet.
I was going to say, Reddit is a lawless wasteland.
It is a lawless wasteland, but I love Reddit.
So do I.
I love Reddit because, especially on the teacher thread.
Yes.
The teacher thread of Reddit, if you've never been, is a lawless, uncensored, real take on what's going on in the world. You see the worst of the worst, the best of the best, the biggest complaints. You can read everybody else's comments. This happened here, and this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm here to sort it all out. And bring you the best of the best. Now, this is all public stuff. I don't click on the private stuff. If I got to sign in to see it, I'm not reading it.
But
but if you publish it on Reddit, then I feel like I get to talk about it.
But let me explain how bad Reddit is for people who don't go on it. If Reddit walked into a bar, sailors would run out.
Yes,
that's what
Reddit is. This first one made my blood boil because I put myself in their shoes and I said, I would have had to have said something. And I wouldn't have just said something. I think I would have been aggressively saying something about it.
Okay.
Today, a parent was allowed to come into my room and stand over me while I printed out our child's missing work from this semester. Ooh. We're not talking future work. We're not talking going on vacation. We're not talking current work. We are talking missing work because your child has not turned it in. And so this person says, I teach high school English. During my first block of creative writing class, a parent came in demanding that I print out all the work her child is missing this semester. Apparently, the child is falling behind in 5 of his classes, and she was allowed by someone in the office to come into all of our rooms and demand to see what work he's missing during class, and demand that we print it all off because his Chromebook was stolen and he needed to get his grades up by Monday when the finals start. I told her I would get it printed and sent home, but she insisted and stayed and instead stood over me and watched as I printed out every assignment. It took 30 minutes out of my morning, put my whole class on edge, and apparently made her child, was in the class at the time, made her child be very upset about mom coming in front of everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
And she said, look, I want to complain to admin, but I think they're the ones that let them in. And I think they would take the parents' side because historically that's what they've done. And for all I know, one of them let her in to do this.
I have questions.
I'm sure I got answered.
Okay. So the kid didn't do the work, just chose not to do the work.
Did not do the work.
So someone in the office allowed the mom to let the child make up all that work?
Yes.
That's wrong.
That happens a lot.
What?
Yeah.
That ain't right, man.
I agree.
That ain't right.
I agree.
And I say that because we were active parents in our kids' life throughout their academic career. If you were not doing your work, you do it on the right time when you're supposed to be doing it. You do your work when you're first assigned. There's no makeups for that, man. That's not how life works.
I battled that.
I
got called into the office one time because I didn't give a makeup assignment. And I was told I had to give makeup assignments and a chance to grade recover. This person failed the entire semester with me, and I was told I had to give them a full packet of grade recovery materials to get their grade back up. And I said no. And do you realize they said, I can't say no. And they said that you have to do it. And they were like, but you can technically say no, but we're going to challenge you on it, and you're going to have to answer to the school board and all this other stuff.
They were going to go.
They strong-armed me.
Really?
And I hated that. I think if the child fails, the child failed.
Well, let me ask a dumb question.
Go ahead.
Why? Why would they make you do it? Why?
Well, it was to save their graduation rate. Why not?
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
That's all it was.
That's all it is. That's all it ever is.
It's a ranking thing, man.
Yeah, man. Save your graduation rate. You went down 2%. What happened?
Yeah.
Other than the kids didn't do their work, it's like, these are kids that would show up once every week, and then demand the work and demand makeup work and demand they do online classes. And there was no accountability. We gave them too many safety nets. And then they get to the real world and there's no safety nets.
No, that's not how life works.
Yeah. So, I agree to an extent that you got to help them out. You got to let them know. And I did. You go along the way and go, hey, this is a day late. This is 2 days late. This is 5 days late. What are you doing?
I blame the parent for coming in there like that. That's wrong.
No, but having the parent stand over top of you,
man,
I would have been like, no. I honestly would have straight up Willy Wonka'd. You failed, sir. Good day.
I say good day.
Yeah, I said good day. No chocolate factory for you. Standing over top of you.
Oompa loompa.
Your child is in the squeezing compartment. Pick them up on the way out.
What do you get when your kid is a brat? Pampered and fed like a Siamese cat. Who do you blame? The mother and the father.
Yeah, that's what I honestly could not.
That's horrible.
But they went in, first off, to allow them into the class.
Yes.
We would get called
in the middle of their class.
We had to have, it was in our contract, we had to have 24-hour notice before we had contact with the parent in terms of a parent-teacher conference. You couldn't just walk in and go, I demand to talk to.
Yes.
It was like, great, they will talk to you in 24 hours.
Yes.
You cannot just walk in. And that was one of the few things that I was really happy that the county did stick to, is that that's in our contract. We get 24 hours to prep for something like that.
Yes.
Letting them go back to the class, demanding they print out work while you're there during class, nope.
Do you know how unsupported that teacher must have felt?
You know what? Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
because that's true.
Yes.
It's not even just the parents there. It's not even the disruption of the class. It's do you mean that my safety barrier in the office didn't stand up for me?
Yeah.
That literally my safety net was taken from me, and now they're able to come back and invade my space.
My career support system,
yes,
failed.
Exactly. All right, this one, another one. This one I saw on Reddit. Apparently, parents think they should have a say in our family planning. This is my third year teaching, but this class is by far the worst group I've had. Several students have severe behavior issues. I was also pregnant, my third trimester, and was so happy for break when I went on maternity leave. Now, to be honest, I spend a lot of my leave lesson planning and grading for my long-term sub, which they do way too much time, especially since I wasn't getting paid for the work. That's exactly what happens. I went on the father's leave for when my children were born, and I had to still do the work and make sure everything was being taken care of and answer the phone. And trust me, the sub would get lost and then call, hey, where's this? Yeah, I got you. I'm not getting paid for that, But anyways, this teacher came back from her leave and says, I've been back about a month. Can someone explain to me why after coming back and having a couple meetings with parents and their children's behavior, that her maternity leave is always being used as an excuse for the behavior? Apparently, a mother stated the reason why her child was bad is because I had triggered her son due to my leave because he doesn't have a stable home life. So because she left and took the absence, the kids felt the need to act up. There's nothing stable in school since she left to go have her child. Apparently, the district has received complaints because she's quote unquote hormonal. Another one tried to use the excuse today too that apparently said the behavior was because she had left for her maternity leave.
Okay. Say what? Wait a minute. You cannot, as a parent, blame your kid's teacher for going and birthing her own child. That's crazy talk.
You can, because it shifts the blame from you.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Now, how dare you leave to go become a mother when I have my own child I need you to take care of?
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep. To me, and I've said this plenty of times, we live in a time where we're so populated that we need to be the most neighboring, the most loving, the most caring as a society. Yet for some reason, we have all taken on a mentality of selfishness.
Yes.
And it's not me, it's you.
Absolutely.
How can I blame somebody else? To blame a teacher for going on maternity leave for the reasons of your child's misbehavior in class is outrageous. My child has to act right no matter who is in that class. And as a parent, it's my job to make sure that child goes to school with the expectations that if they fail to do that, there will be consequences.
Say it again for the people in the cheap seats.
If they fail to do that,
that's right,
there will be consequences.
There you go.
And that has to be the rule. It's not, I get why you're acting bad. It's because the teacher left.
Oh.
It's like,
it's not your fault.
No.
Yeah.
That's not why.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel bad for that teacher because now they've come back to a hostile environment where not only are the kids apparently acting up, but the parents don't have her back either.
They don't.
And that's and hopefully admin steps in and corrects some of these problems. But
I say it all the time. It starts at home.
It starts at home. All right, now the last one is a little bit of a golden nugget that was thrown in there that I didn't want to just be negative. I wanted to be positive. This one popped up and I thought it was great. A letter to teachers from a parent lurker. And this is not the thing that you think it is, but I thought
I'm hoping.
Yeah. This is not the what's that called? When you have an order, restraining order.
Yeah.
Not that one.
No.
It says this was a great little post on Reddit. I saw it and it made me happy because you don't see stuff like this. But it says, I'm just a parent lurker here on this Reddit thread, trying to continuously learn what you amazing teachers deal with, so I can best support you and to teach my own children the importance of behaving correctly at school. I also am sure to stress that they need to talk with their peers and set good examples. I can't imagine dealing with the things you teachers are constantly going through. The fact that administrators don't have your backs. This is the thing. A parent has been observing Reddit, and this is what they had to conclude after reading our complaints. I am so distraught that administrators don't have your back on anything, and that's infuriating, especially in cases of what I read today. Violent threats, one post of a student threatening to kill their teacher, and the comments filled with horrible similar accounts.
Crazy.
I've read so many similar stories in this past month, and I have been in this thread, and it makes me truly sick. She said it's a travesty that safety is worth basically nothing to these people, especially your own admin. They'll do anything to keep students coasting towards passing grades and not making a fuss, but they allow extreme behaviors with little or no consequences. And just what I read today, they wouldn't even put a child back in your classroom, or they would even put a child back into your classroom that threatened your life.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And it says teachers shouldn't be heroes. You should be able to be normal people who just go to work, and the saddest truth is you are heroes. And it says what you have to put up with on the regular makes me so sad, so angry. Thank you all for what you do. And it says society wouldn't function without you wonderful men and women. I'm so sorry you weren't shown the respect you deserve. That kind of stuff, when you read this, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But also, if the general public could see, if you're not a teacher and you listen to this, go to the Reddit on teachers and see what we put up with.
Firsthand accounts.
These are anonymous accounts. They're not posting this for likes because they get nothing from it.
No.
They're literally just going, hey, anybody else had their life threatened today? And other people go, yes. And then it's like, huh.
Hey, imagine them bringing the kid back who threatened you.
Yeah.
That's insanity. That really is.
Couldn't do it. Now, this last one here is the question that I'm going to ask you.
Me?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this briefly.
Okay.
But it's an interesting question that is posed by a teacher, and it's one that I have echoed plenty of times. What will these students do when they have to get jobs? This was posted on Reddit. So many students seem to have zero skills or motivation to do basically anything and are too apathetic to learn or try. Years and years of being passed, even though they didn't do the assignments, have resulted in many not caring because they generally feel that the outcome will always be the same. What are these students going to do when they actually have to get jobs? Now, somebody commented, this was a response, and said 2 or 3 times a year, I have a student come in and they teach high school who is bummed out. And I go, hey, what's wrong? And they go, man, I got fired over the weekend. Oh, why'd you get fired? And they say, well, I came in 10 minutes late. And I go, did you tell anyone? Call, text? Well, no. Didn't we tell you that, that's what will happen in real life? And they're like, oh, I didn't. Because they come in late to class and we just go, oh, it's fine. But then they come in late to work and they expect it's fine. It's not fine. I think as teachers sometimes, and this is the worst thing that teachers do. This is the worst thing that teachers do. Sometimes we are so full of empathy that we look for the good in every single situation.
Yes.
And in the process of looking for the good in every situation, we are setting up an unrealistic real world expectation for these students.
Yes.
We go, oh, they're late. They're probably battling something at home because you want to be a hero. I get it. You want to be a hero so bad. But sometimes attempting to be a hero and being understanding is being a villain and setting them up for failure in the real world.
That's right. That's right.
And I just think sometimes you need a little tough love. Sometimes you need a little real world. This is the problem. This is what's happening.
Not even tough love. Repercussions.
Yes.
Yes.
And consequences. Kids need to know, hey, look, that's not going to cut it, man.
Yeah.
There's managers that don't care about you. They don't have the empathy that we have as teachers.
And nor is it their job to.
No.
Understand that.
They have quotas.
Yes.
They got profit. They got things that they need to do.
Yes.
I mean, I had an old manager that when I worked for Hooters.
Yeah.
I worked for Hooters and I was a cook there. And man, he treated me well.
Yeah.
And I got paid great. And the reason I got paid great is because I was on time.
Yes.
And I was like, man, he's treating me great because I'm on time. He's treating me great because I'm kicking out orders. And he's treating me great for this. And at the end of the year, he's like, man, the bonuses that I got because of you. And I was like, you got bonuses?
Yeah.
And he's like,
bonuses? Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, our ticket time was low. Our
Yes.
revenue was high.
Yes.
They gave us bonuses for, low turnover rates
Yes.
and all this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't realize I was making him money. And guess what? If I had been late, if I had been getting ticket times low,
that's right.
Do you think as much of a nice guy as this guy was, that he wouldn't have wanted more money in his pocket and gone, you're out. I'll find somebody else that can do it.
That's right. I've seen a general shift, I think, across the country about the attitudes people have towards their jobs. And the young people, I would say that. Like when I was coming up, we all worked fast food.
Yes.
Fast food is different now. Customer service isn't what it used to be. You
Right.
got to go to specific places to get great customer service. Like Chick-fil-A, you go there. You go to other places, you know what you're getting. Like there's a general just feeling you get from these people. Like your coming to order is inconveniencing me.
Yeah.
As a worker.
Right. What are you doing at my job?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to also make one more argument that teachers, you got to listen up to this.
Okay.
It used to be okay that, kids would take these jobs and sometimes get fired, sometimes lose them, sometimes be late. Hey, that's real world lessons too.
That is true.
You learn that way and you move on. But you have to understand the real world is getting harder. And the real world is getting harder because they're paying more. It's a $20 an hour minimum at Target. That's great for these kids.
Yes.
It's also really, really a lot of weight on these companies that they need the best of the best.
Yes.
And 5 minutes late ain't cutting it.
No.
And it used to cut it when they were making $7.50 an hour because it's like, oh, you're 5 minutes late. That's fine. We don't want to pay to have to train somebody else. But it's like, no, we're paying $20 an hour now. We expect $20 an hour work.
There you go.
And you got to step it up. So we should be on the opposite end of it, setting higher expectations. I always say set the expectations and the kids will meet them.
That's right.
But if you constantly bend the rules, they're gonna bend them for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. James, how can people find you, my friend?
As always, you guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Same name, James Yon, Y-O-N, comedian. And thank all you lovely teachers for following me. I appreciate it.
Yep, Devin Comedy for the upcoming tour dates. I'm out on the Board Teachers Comedy Tour right now. And be sure to check that out in a city near you. Also, you can find me online, Devin Siebold, and at Devin Comedy on TikTok. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that share button, hit the 5-star review button. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that. But us suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, Board Teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.